after Eli Tomac's crash, setting way back with 22 points.
And as we talked about earlier, Jeff, it's no time to panic yet. Obviously, that looks bad on paper, but we do get a throwaway score. We're getting ready to go for Moto 2 here, and Ryan Dungey and Tony Caroli are going to get a break. In this one, it's going to be MX2. So Eli goes right back out. We had a chance to talk to him earlier, and he's fine. He's basically, the guys are a little shaken up, but Eli's fine. Talked to Roger, talked to Kevin Crowther, and Jeff Canfield from the AMA. They both said that everything's fine. He's hopefully going to go out and win this with that adrenaline after that hard fought up to third place and then big crash.
As you mentioned, Eli Tomac, he will be representing Team USA in the MX2 class. This is race 2 of 3. Tomac's partner, his teammate, will be Justin Barcia, representing the United States in the open class. Moments away from the gate drop here, Teutschenthal, Germany, the 2013 Motocross of Nations, race 2. Here we go.
Second pick and 22nd pick. Let's see what they can get.
As they go down to the first turn, couple of riders down.
I think that was Dean Ferris again with the hole shot on the 250.
Looks like as they come through the timing and scoring loop, it's Dean Ferris with the hole shot, but it's Ken Roxon. Ulrich for the German rider,
down.
Roxon's teammate, he is down in the first turn. Your top 3 goes like this.
Right there.
This is, well, it looks like Dean Ferris out front, Roxon, Sean Simpson from Great Britain, Justin Barcia with a great start in 4th, and Eli Tomac. What a way to rebound after that horrendous crash in race 1, rounds out your top 5.
But just like we talked about, Jeff, look at that again. 2 250s out front. Now Tomac up into 3rd. We've got 3 250s out front. Barcia right there where he needs to be. Hopefully this moto is going to go a lot better for Team USA.
The balance between the 250cc 4-strokes and the 450cc 4-strokes that the riders are on here today, that gap is much closer than back in the days. Let's say back in the 2-stroke days, riders would have been on a 125 and a 500. And in this race specifically, the horsepower difference was much different. But 2 of the most outstanding riders of the weekend. Ken Roxon, number 2.
Right there goes Ken to the inside.
Grabs the lead away from the Australian Dean Ferris. So Roxon once again out front. They are the reigning champions, Team Germany. They are the host country this year. Roxon grew up not far from here. The crowd, outstanding support from the Germans.
Well, look at Team USA right there in 3rd and 4th where they want to be. Roxon picking up where he left off in the first moto, but without Caroli in this moto to chase him down, which, by the way, we would be remiss with not saying he's not Caroli on a 350 in that moto, by the way, not a 450.
Take a look at this pass here. Roxon just gets to the inside of Ferris, gets out front, trying to have the ability to ride his own race.
So, Jeff,
in Moto 1, Roxon was the first in the MX2 division. He was topped by Antonio Caroli, who's in the MX1 division. We're going to see him later on in our show in race 3.
But as we talked about, Jeff, even though that he was first in his class, he picks up 2 points where he was on the track. He was second. In the similar case of Australia, he was second in the class, 4th on the track. He gets 4 points for Australia as you look at Eli going to work here on Dean Ferris from Australia.
Paul, this is a battle here, that critical MX2 class that we feel could be the decider. Ken Roxon, reigning champion, Team Germany out front. He's followed by the Australian Dean Ferris, who's been fast all weekend, and Eli Tomac now back up into the top 3. Stay tuned for the rest of race 2 here from Germany. Back to Teutschenthal, Germany, 2013 Motocross of Nations. Eli Tomac, riding for Team USA, has just stolen the 2nd position away from the Australian Dean Ferris. These 3 riders, Roxon, Tomac, and Ferris, have been fast all weekend, and this moto, they have instantly got to the front. They are also followed by the first rider in the open division, Justin Barcia. Let's go back and take a look at this start.
Look at the 2 riders checking up to go to the inside like we talked about earlier, Jeff. We don't know if that's going to work with that sweeping first turn. Big pileup, unlike we didn't see in the first moto, but a couple of riders down, including Ulrich for Germany. That is really going to shake up their chances, just like we talked about. They're going to, that essentially, unless he can come back through the field, might be their throwaway score.
See, on the left there, Dean Ferris, the 29, and this is Roxon, I believe, without onboard. Take a look to the right. As they come across the line, Ferris clearly has that foxhead.com hole shot, as the rest of the riders piling up. Now the key thing, I believe I saw one of the Belgian riders towards the back there, which would be Clement Dessau.
Now Dessau's up into 10th. It's going to be
up into 10th, but I'm saying off of the start, so he's made.
Horbeck must have been the one that gone down.
Gotcha,
The 250 class. Yep.
And so It was a very competitive race one, really scrambled up as far as the scores went here, where after Moto 1, it was Germany leading with a total of 13 points.
Italy second with 14, Australia with 14, so this is good for Dean Ferris. And if you had told me, Jeff, any of us, you know me, I'm a big proponent of it's about the reaction time, not the horsepower. We see 3 250Fs up front here, but if you had told me that 250 riders in the MX2 class were going to dominate this competition so far, and there goes Barsha right around Ferris up into third.
Barsha taking the spot away from Dean Ferris. Remember, that is the exact same position where Barsha's teammate Eli Tomac went to the right and around the outside of Dean Ferris.
That's right. The only rider we're missing this equation from the first moto before Tomac went down is Antonio Caroli. And if ever there was a track, we see the 250 riders, as we mentioned, Dean Ferris having the fastest lap time on this very rough track because of the braking bumps, the ruts. They can charge a little bit harder, don't you think, Jeff? The 350 of Tony Caroli might just be the ultimate bike here.
Taking a look here, the 21, Tano Liak, riding for Estonia. Just in front of him, the Russian rider Tonkov. Simpson for Great Britain. He's on bike number 24. So good battle here. Now we're finally getting to see, well, had a sight there of Clement de Salle, number 6, riding for Belgium. He won his open class qualifier yesterday, setting up the teams qualifying to get into the 3-race main event here.
And here's a good example, Jeff, of how these scores are going to get crazy, folks. So try to stay with us. You've got basically David Philipparts for Italy. His teammate, David Philipparts right now, former world champ, is in 19th place. They came into this event in second place, 1 point behind Germany. They came into this moto, excuse me. His teammate on the 250, the MX2 rider, is in 10th, Alessandro Lupino. That'd normally be a great ride for an MX2 rider, a top 10. However, Philipparts back in 19th. That is going to crush their score the same way Ulrich for Germany is doing with Roxen out front right now. Top 5 best scores. Once again, you drop the worst. It's going to get hard to calculate in the third moto, Jeff, for sure.
Well, here we go, the battle for the lead. Last year's champions, Team Germany, and their rider Ken Roxen. Superstar racing in America, but riding for Germany, hosting the Motocross of Nations this year out front. One of his main rivals in America. These guys went blow to blow in the Supercross and Motocross championships. And Eli Tomac, after a horrendous crash the first moto, really starting to apply the pressure. So let's see how this race can finish up. 23 minutes plus 2 laps, and they have now gapped Justin Barsha, who sets in third by just over 7 seconds.
And think about that, Jeff. This is Justin Barsha we're talking about here.
On a 450.
That's right.
Last lap, Roxen and Tomac, 2:42 lap times.
Unbelievable. And these two, like you said, they've got a great rivalry they've been building over the years. Roxen takes the West Coast Championship and Supercross away from him in the 250 class. Tomac repays the favor, takes the Outdoor Championship away. Oh, and let's just go ahead and come to Roxen's home turf, defending Motocross of Nations champ. It doesn't get any better than this. These two 250F riders are on the top of the world right now, and they're showing why ahead of Justin Barsha by 7 seconds on a 450. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Paul, leading into this event, we discussed so much about what would be the key class, who would be the key riders that could really change the results and allow a team to be on top and win that Chamberlain Cup. For us, it came down to the MX2 class, and they're showing us why. They're dropping riders that are riding engines with bigger displacements in the open class. Roxen and Tomac both just turned 243s. Barsha comes by with
that's going to be Ulrich down for Germany.
Sorry.
Ulrich is down, and the number 12 is down as well. That is going to be a tough blow for Germany. The number 12 of Bracket Hurton, that's going to be the Netherlands rider. Another tough break for them. Their day has not been going very well as well. So Netherlands and Germany, this is probably going to be their throwaway score. This is what changes everything.
Well, Team USA, you would have to think that race 1 crash with Eli Tomac and the result of a 16th, you definitely want to throw that away if it has to count towards your final score.
We certainly hope so. And we see Clement de Salle here. We've seen him a lot. He's come over to America and run on the podium over there. He finished second. MX Panda, he is a fast rider, obviously, and he's just behind Dean Ferris and Justin Barsha in 5th place. That shows you how fast Ken Roxen and Eli Tomac are winding out those 250Fs.
Taking a look at the Live Nations classifications here, as you can see, Team USA now back up on top with 27 points. Now at this point, as they run, that would be all 4 combined scores, 2 from the first moto, 2 from race 1, 2 from race 2. But of course, we're going to have...
I think it's actually they'd be dropping our worst at this point. Is if I had to guess, if we could flip over on the other station here and check it out, that's where it gets tricky to calculate, because right now it looks like we're better off than we are. We basically have already used our throwaway scores, why it looks like we're so far ahead.
Race 2 continuing. Combination of the MX2 and the open class here in Teutschenthal, Germany. 20 minutes plus 2 laps left. Your leader for Team Germany, Ken Roczen, he's still followed by Eli Tomac, Justin Barcia, rounding out your top 3. Stay with us here on CBS Sports Network. Welcome back to Germany, the 2013 Motocross of Nations. Underway, 20 minutes plus 2 laps left here in race 2. It's a combination of the MX2 class and the open class.
The number 14 Lupino there starting to put the pressure on that blue TM bike of Tano Liak from Estonia. Great ride for him. In front of them from Russia, Tonkov, Barbashev's teammate, and then Sean Simpson, the British rider, up into 6th behind Clement DeSalle. So lots of talent all the way through the top 10. Still 2 250Fs out front and another one in 4th. Amazing.
Track is really starting to deteriorate at this point. Notice that inside line there. That was Lupino, the Italian rider. He'll have the blue and white jersey on. Good score from him, combined with his teammate Antonio Cairoli's win in race 1. Could really set Italy up nicely. Jake Nichols, number 23, rounding out your top 10 here, riding for Great Britain. His teammate Sean Simpson, he'll be on bike number 24. He's currently in the 6th position.
Jeremy Van Horbeck, the MX2 rider for Belgium, back in the 13th spot. So once again, and we see Philip Hart's up to 18th now, just kind of holding back there. And Glenn Koldenhoff, the outstanding young rider for the MX2 for the Netherlands, all the way back in 20th. He should be up in this battle for the lead with these stellar 250 riders. He has been in the past in the GPs during the season.
Great battle here between Tano Liak and Alessandro Lupino. Lupino on the 250. Liak on the 450. See him getting down in that rut. And when I spoke to the riders about the track conditions, they said, yeah, the ruts are deep, but those ruts have big holes in them. And that's what's kind of hard to see from your TV screen, but that's when the bike really gets shaken around. That's when the talent, the strength, the physical conditioning really plays a part.
Pino doing the knack almost off the side of the bike. Jeff, tell us from your perspective as a rider, 6 times on the Motocross Nations team, if you had a bad moto or a crash, a mental error, let's say, like Tomac did, what is he thinking right now? When we went and talked to him, it seemed like he was just eager to get out there and win and redeem himself.
Well, fortunately, in the 6 races that I was a part of, I was never out of the top 2 in my class except for the final race. So I had the bad race, and then that was it. But it's really frustrating for Eli Tomac. He's a champion. He's very mentally strong. He is physically fit. He knows what he's capable of. He knows that it's important for him to go out and get a great finish, possibly even win.
And
but what
be?
He cannot do is go out and be going for the win and make another big mistake to where he has a big score.
Right there is the difference, Jeff, that we want to point out to the viewers at home. It is a team event, and we've seen it so many times in the past. People debate, did Everett's lay up? Did Stewart lay up? Did Carmichael lay up? You don't ever lay up. You're racing to your potential, but you don't want to make a huge mistake. Like you said, you want to ride your best, but it's the avoiding any huge mistakes that makes the difference in this event. And I think that Eli Tomac obviously wants to win this moto. No doubt he wants to beat Ken, but a second is better than a stick in the eye right now for Team USA.
Yeah, there's no doubt that as a rider, the mentality of this race changes because you're not just going for your own, overall result.
That's right.
Okay. You have teammates that are relying upon your results, at least one of your results, okay? 6 scores, you take the top 5, throw away the worst one. So you really do have to ride at at 100%. The competition is unreal when you get here. The atmosphere is crazy. The amount of pressure that especially is on Team USA because of the amount of wins. Team USA has won this event out of the 67 times. They have won it 22 times. So a third of the Motocross of Nations have gone to Team USA.
It's been
last year they were on a 7-race win streak and lost in Belgium. This year Team USA is back. Now, both of these teams are 2 of the strongest contenders. Okay, you've got Dean Ferris here riding for Team Australia. that has been outstanding this weekend. No doubt about it, this has been a breakout race for him. And then Clement Desal, of course, who rides the World Motocross GPs. Okay, always a standout. This guy is strong, and you see him making his way forward. So he had a bad start, worked his way up to 5th, and now he's kind of stabilized right there at that 144 lap time. And it's only Roczen and Tomac that are still turning 142s. They are 17 seconds ahead of Justin Barcia, who sits in between the two leaders, and Ferris and Desal in 3rd.
And for those of you at home, again, who still are not Dean Ferris believers or wondering who Dean Ferris is, that is who Dean Ferris is. Just behind Justin Barcia, just ahead of world number 2, Clement Desal on a 450. Dean's on the 250. Unbelievable ride for the Australian here today. His teammate, let's see where he's at. Back, I want to say, actually,
oh, here we go. This is Desal powering the 450 to the inside. Let's see if Ferris can hold the line. There's Barcia. They're starting to close up. They're only about 3 seconds behind Barcia and possibly closing. Desal won the open class qualifying race yesterday. He has some serious speed, and you know he would love to put Belgium on top. Their last win was in 2004.
Now his teammate for Belgium, Jeremy Van Horbeck, back in 12th place on the 250. The MX2 rider moved up to the MX1 class this year, made his rookie debut, but dropped back down because Belgium, like the USA, has a lot of good riders to choose from. Kevin Strybos. A lot of guys did not make the team, as we see Desal really going to work on Ferris here on that 250F. Desal trying to block the inside. That same rut there, goes around the middle. Not going to make it stick yet.
Bikes jumping around so much. This track, having your chassis set up right, being physically fit, is the key to winning here. 14 minutes plus 2 laps left in this race. Desal really working hard. There he gets to the inside of Ferris. Closes him off. Looks like he's going to make it stick.
For Dean Ferris to be that close to Justin Barcia halfway through this moto is mind-boggling to me. Still going strong, looking good. Everything looking good for the Team Australia once again.
So Clement Desal now puts Belgium up to 4th. Taking a look at the team classifications as they run. It's Team USA back on top. No surprise, Belgium just behind them. Great Britain rounding out the top 3. Italy and Australia, strong showings in the top 5 here of the team classifications. Stay with us. More Motocross of Nations to come here on the CBS Sports Network. Welcome back to Teutschenthal, Germany, for our CBS Sports Network coverage of the 67th running of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations. Right there, getting a good look. That would be Jeremy Van Horbeck riding for Belgium, currently working his way through the pack up to 11th. And the British rider, Sean Simpson, is in 10th. So Van Horbeck, paired with his teammate, Clement Desal, is up to 4th. Belgium and America, at the moment, are at the top of the team classifications. It has been a very competitive day all around when you're counting the scores from the 3-rider team, 3-moto format. We're going to count 5 of the 6 results to the overall champion of the Motocross of Nations.
And Jeff, it's a perfect segue to bring that up, because while we were away at break, I was looking on the monitor to find out where Dean Ferris's Australian teammate in the MX3 class, Todd Waters, who figured to be the weak link in this team. No offense to Todd, he put in a stellar ride yesterday in 4th in the MX3 class. Unbelievable. Unfortunately, back in 22nd place. This is where the team scoring comes into factor. Australia came into this moto in 3rd place, tied actually for 2nd with Italy, 14 points. That 22nd for Todd Waters right now, their worst score at the moment. Let's see if Todd Waters can make a charge through the pack as he did yesterday in that short 20-minute plus 2 MX3 qualifier, open qualifier.
Well, and talking about going through the pack there, that was a group of riders. We're trying to find our way there for Eli Tomac, the American, that runs 2nd, 2.5 seconds behind the German rider Roczen. But how about this battle here we have going? This is Alessandro Lupino. He's 14 there, the blue and white on that green Kawasaki.
And Tonkov
riding
from Russia.
For Italy, and Tonkov, the 32. These riders are wheel to wheel. It looks like Tano Liak, the Estonian rider, in 8th has closed up. So this is a 3-way battle, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
And just behind him, Jeff, Jake Nichols on the 250F yet again from Great Britain. We talked about the 8 of the top 10 in the world in the MX2 class on 250s racing this race.
Tano Liak making his way around the outside.
Gets
of
by Nick.
Lupino.
Yep.
And speaking of, that's Lupino's teammate, Antonio Cairoli, who won the opening race here.
Cheering on his teammates.
It's a very special feeling when you're grouped together, racing against teammate or racing with teammates that throughout most of the year have been your competition, and everybody pulls together. It's an outstanding atmosphere. It definitely is a different mindset for the racers when everyone pulls together to get their country on top. That's what it's all about. Of course, we have the individual winners in the classifications, but everyone is chasing the Chamberlain Cup and the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations Championship.
That's right, and with 10 minutes plus 2 to go in this moto, I'm honestly surprised to see Cairoli still standing there. He'll be back out on the track in moto number 3 when we'll see all 450s. The 250 guys will be done for the day. We'll see the MX1 in the open class, all 450s with the exception, of course, Jeff, of Antonio Cairoli, who won going away on that 350 KTM. So
taking a look at the Live Nations classifications there, going back into 6th through 10th. Where we're watching Tano Leok riding for Estonia. His team got a pretty big number with 9, but inside the top 10.
Yeah, disappointing ride for France so far.
Sorry, Paul, on board here with your race leader, Ken Roxon, number 2, riding for Team Germany. They are the reigning champions here of the Motocross of Nations. They are also the host country. We're in Teutschenthal, Germany. Clement Desal running 4th on the track. He's riding the open class for Belgium. Pretty big gap behind Desal to the 5th place rider, the Australian Dean Ferris. Looks like Desal finally starting to close up on the American rider, Justin Barcia. He's the rider there, number 9, with that red front fender, red, white, and blue gear. This is Barcia's 2nd year on the team. Last year had 2 outstanding motos going, had 1 big crash in the first one, rebounded. I believe it was a 3rd in his 2nd moto. He definitely means business here, trying to regain the championship and take that Chamberlain Cup back to the United States.
And talking to Barcia and some of the Team USA crew over there, he already seems a lot more relaxed this year than last year, being his 2nd year. Everybody seems to think he's got it going on. You know, we talk about Dungey shouldering that stress and the pressure of the team, and we talk about Eli Tomac being the rookie. He seemed nice and calm. We asked about Barcia. They said, he's good. He's ready to go. No drama, no pressure, even after Tomac's big crash in the first moto.
I believe that's Tonkov we're looking at.
Tonkov and Lupino, 2 more MX2 riders just dominating this race with the open class riders. Unbelievable. And these guys figuring in to be a lot more than we thought. Dean Ferris picked up a 4th in the first moto combined. He looks like he's 5th here. That's a solid finish for an MX2 rider in these motos. A 4.5 is about as good as it gets, unless your name's Ken Roxon or Eli Tomac.
Well, look at Lupino just getting blasted with rocks and dirt here from Tonkov. But this is an outstanding battle. Now look at Lupino. He's got to drive down the left side. Tonkov gets into some serious braking bumps. Let's see if Lupino can carry that momentum around over the finish line. Looks like he's got it. That's going to put Lupino, the Italian, up into 7th. Tonkov, the Russian, back to 8th.
Now, Tonkov's Russian teammate besides Barbashev in the MX1 class, Evgeny Mikhailov. Name might sound familiar, Jeff. He's rode some outdoors in America this year.
In the United States,
That's right.
Last 3 seasons.
He's on a KTM over here right now. The open class, the 3rd rider for Team Russia. They had a solid team. They still have a solid team. He is up to 12th. That's a pretty solid ride, being that 3rd guy, quote unquote. Not too bad. If Barbashev hadn't had the problems that he had, he is a solid top 5, top 3 MX1 rider. And with Tonkov putting in the ride he's putting on, those guys could have figured in on the podium as well. But tough luck for the Russians so far here this weekend.
7 minutes to go here in race 2, which has combined the MX2 divisions and the Open. Ken Roxon, currently your leader. Oh, and Barcia makes a mistake in the same place as Eli Tomac. Made a massive crash in Moto 1, race 1.
Desal
Looks like he's holding off Desal. That's going to elevate the heart rate a little bit. Look at that. The United States, 1 point lead over Belgium. If Desal was to get by Barcia, that could really change the scoring here and tighten it up.
Well, that's obviously a 2-point swing, 4-point swing. Technically, he's going to move up 1. Barcia's going to lose 1.
Here it is, Desal around the outside of the American. He takes the position. Now Desal moves into the top 3. Barcia goes back to 4th. What fight does Barcia have? How much will he hang it out? Stay with us here on the CBS Sports Network for continuance of race 2 from the Motocross of Nations. Back in Germany, we're taking a look back at Justin Barcia getting loose here just before the break. Almost goes off the bike in the exact same place his teammate Eli Tomac did in race 1 earlier today. Threw away a podium score. Unbelievable. Here comes Tomac up to that same section.
Yeah, looking like he's dropped back just a little bit off of Roczen. Clement de Sal, I don't think those guys are too much further back. MX Panda finished second in the World Championship behind none other than Tony Corley. Picked up 4 wins along the way, so you know this guy is solid.
Take a look at those nations classifications. On your screen, though, is the battle for the race win. You've got the German rider, Ken Roczen, and Eli Tomac, the American rider. They are going at it, still turning some of the fastest laps of the moto. Their fastest, each rider at about 1:42.5. Currently, Tomac was your fastest rider with a 1:43.9, and Roczen slowing up just a tad bit. That's what's allowed these two riders to close up. So, will the drive of the American rider, Eli Tomac, how deep can he dig? He had a massive crash in Moto 1 that cost Team USA a big score. Or will the hometown crowd here, the German crowd for Ken Roczen, help cheer him on for this moto win?
Well, and Jeff, that's the big question. Does this look familiar to one of the nationals at home or not? Tomac running down Roczen near the end of a moto, but as you said, he's got 4 minutes plus 2 laps to go. We're looking at about 4 laps, and can he hold off Tomac using that hometown adrenaline to his advantage? You know there's fans, thousands of them all around the track with their air horns cheering him on. This would be the place he could do it if it's going to happen.
I spoke with Ken Roczen before this race. Of course he wants to win. Of course he wants the German team to win. He wants to put on a good show. His individual goal is to win a race. Right now, he is leading race 2 here at the Motocross of Nations at his hometown track. This is unbelievable. He was second in Moto 1. If he can hang on and withstand the charge of Eli Tomac, he will achieve his own personal goal.
And he did talk about that at the press conference yesterday. You're right, Jeff. He wanted to win the moto outright. He wanted to win the MX2 class overall for the 4th straight year. So this is pressure right here. We've got about 3 laps to go.
3.5 minutes plus 2 laps. Once this countdown clock gets to 0, the next time the leader comes by, they'll put the 2-lap board
Actually,
out.
It could end up being 4 laps.
There you
There
go.
goes
Tomac to the inside. He's on the pegs. Roczen holds him off. He takes a look over his shoulder. This is where the strategy, picking the right lines, getting through the lapped riders clean is going to be important. And Roczen all over, or Tomac all over Roczen.
Definitely applying the pressure. My math was way off, Jeff. It's definitely 4 laps to go. That's going to work to Eli's advantage, no doubt about it, as Ken is just starting to really feel the pressure from Eli here, and you can hear the crowd getting amped up out there.
The crowd, the German flags flying, the atmosphere, the energy that has been in the air all weekend long here at this 67th Motocross of Nations has been outstanding. And I can't think of a better position to be in as a motocross rider, to be battling your arch rival, trying to win the team classification, trying to win the race on your own, on your home soil.
And Jeff, let's get deep inside both these guys. You've been in this position, you've been in both positions. Would you, if you're Eli, do you want to put him behind you right away and show that you're on the move? Or do you want to wait so that he doesn't try to stuff you back? I think he smells blood in the water. He wants to get by him and just move on, I think, right?
We've seen how much roost is coming off the back of these bikes. Kind of a hard play, a lot of rock in there. Tomac wants to get out front and be able to ride with a clear head and ride his own lines. Right now, he really has to be smart. He has to give it everything he's got if he wants to pass former MX2 World Motocross champion
on his home track. Now let's turn the tables. If you're Ken Roczen, what are you thinking right now? You know he's back there. He's caught and passed you so many times in America. There's just no chance you're going to let him get by you here with 2.5 laps to go.
Well, as a rider, you know when a rider gets close to you, you know if he has different lines. And look at Roczen really bouncing the bike, wheeling through bumps. Roczen on the pegs. Once again, Tomac charging that inside line. It's not going to work, but the strategy comes into play once again. See Roczen switch his line there to get around the lapped rider. And Tomac gets next to him, cannot complete the pass.
And look at the braking bumps developing after that finish line, Jeff. We talked about that earlier, too. That is going to come into play. This track could ultimately funnel down into a one-line track near the end of the day because of some of those huge braking bumps and chop coming out of those ruts.
Well, and if you're the lead rider, you're trying to ride the very best pace that you can and make the rider behind you chase.
That's right.
Force him into a mistake by trying to keep up with you. The flip side, Eli Tomac, he's trying to ride at a pace where he's applying the pressure, where he's showing Roczen a wheel here and there. That elevates your heart rate. That makes you nervous. So these riders, obviously both great professionals, but it's there, that intensity of the race. Now we go on board with the German rider, Ken Roczen, getting a look at what it looks like here to ride this racetrack in Teutschenthal, Germany.
There's a look at Barsha still holding down. No, actually DeSalle has gotten around Barsha now for third while we were watching the battle for the lead. Barsha slips back to fourth place. Dean Ferris still fifth. So Barsha, right now, we've got a 2-4 for the U.S. team. And looking at 25 points for Belgium, 28 for the U.S., 37 for Italy. But again, this is very, very tentative after only 2 motos. And this moto isn't even over yet as Eli continues to keep the pressure on the young German, Ken Roczen.
So it's even more important now for the American rider, Eli Tomac. He needs to win this race. He needs that extra point. Clement DeSalle from Belgium and his teammate, Jeremy Van Horbeke, running 3rd and 7th on the track.
Very solid by the Belgians.
Okay, here we go. Countdown clocks to 0. 2
out.
laps to go here in race 2 of the 2013 Motocross of Nations. Ken Roczen, the German rider, out front, followed by Eli Tomac. Clement DeSalle in the open class. Currently rounding out your top 3. So with little less than 2 laps, the team classification, Belgium out front with 25 points. Team USA sets in second with 28. More from the 67th running of the Monster Energy FIM Motocross of Nations coming up. Welcome back to Germany. Their hometown rider, Ken Roczen, number 2, still clinging to the lead here. Teutschenthal, his hometown track, the American, Eli Tomac applying the pressure. Outstanding race for the lead here between 2 of these riders in the MX2 classification.
And still not seeing Ulrich anywhere near the top 20. This is definitely, at least so far, going to be the throwaway score for Germany, regardless of what Ken does here with Eli.
Look at the German fans. They're cheering on their hometown rider, Ken Roczen, who has withstood the pressure. All of the advances that Eli Tomac here, riding for Team USA, has put on him. In the American Championship, at the end of the season, it was Eli Tomac who came out as champion. Roczen was second. Right now, though, you just have to think that it's that hometown crowd that is motivating Roczen to go out and achieve his personal goal was to win a race.
And we see him go through the mechanics area one last time. Ken's going to pick up the white flag here. Eli tries that inside line one more time. And as you mentioned, Jeff, this is what we talked about. He's using that hometown advantage to his advantage, the adrenaline to his advantage. He's holding off Eli for longer than we've seen him do in the past. If this were in America, he might have already been by him now.
So here we go. Less than 1 lap to go. Can Ken Roczen, the German rider, part of the reigning champions from last year in Lommel, Belgium, can he hold on to win the moto? Will the American rider, Eli Tomac, find a way here in the last half a lap of race 2 to take the win? Great overhead shot here from our helicopters, giving you an idea of the surrounding area and the amount of fans here. They have been packed into this race circuit from early in the day, long before practice and warm-up even began. And both motos have just been absolutely outstanding.
Ride. Ken Roczen, 142.5. Eli Tomac, 142.3. The 2 fastest times on the track. DeSalle and Barsha, by way of comparison, 144 and 145. Unbelievable ride by both these young champions in the 250 class.
Here we go, coming up through the first turn area. Up over that Monster Energy jump. This is the site of where Eli Tomac had a massive crash in Moto 1 as he was trying to work his way past Roczen.
And he's running out of time here, Jeff. I think it's going to come down to that inside line on the last turn after the mechanics area, and I don't think he's going to be close enough to pull it off.
Tomac has a really good line, but Roczen gets through that turn clean. This is it. Tomac charging. 2 turns to go. Roczen holding the lead. Tomac chasing. Tomac's going wide open. Look at this. Stands it. Gonna have to check up a little bit.
That's definitely gonna do it. And then Roczen takes the inside line anyhow.
Ken Roczen, the German rider, wins race 2 here at the Motocross of Nations. Team USA. Eli Tomac comes in second. What a ride. Ken Roczen achieves his personal goal for this event was to win a race, and he did that. Outstanding ride by both of these to riders in the MX2 class.
Great sportsmanship, a little fail on the high five there, but both those guys are pumped. I think Eli cannot be disappointed at all with the second place after that big get off in the first moto. Stellar, stellar ride by Ken Roxon.
And to put it into perspective, you're looking at Clement de Sal, the rider for Belgium in the open class. He's third position on the track.
Hasn't even come around the mechanics area yet. That is unbelievable. And Barsh is behind him.
In his defense, he was riding from behind. Roxon and Tomac were out front, but that was a massive, massive lead. Clement de Sal comes by in third.
And you know, Justin Barsha, that's a hell of a ride for him to get fourth place in this stacked field. Let's not take away from that. That's going to help our overall Team USA score with Justin Barsha in fourth. This just seems to be a track for the 250 riders.
Taking a look at the Italian, Alessandro Lupino, coming around in eighth. I just can't believe how competitive this race was. This is
Todd Waters, Dean Ferris's teammate, excuse me, Jeff, making his way up to 20th. It looks like it's going to help out a little bit, but theoretically that would definitely be their throwaway score. Once again, Dean Ferris with a 4.5, absolutely great ride on the 250 for Dean Ferris.
So the official Roxon, Tomac, de Sal, Barsha, Ferris, Santana Leoc from Estonia, Van Hoorbeek, Lupino, Charlier, and Tonkov round out your top 10. There it is. What a feeling here. Ken Roxon, mom, dad, girlfriend, tons of emotion here. What an outstanding effort here by the young German rider.
4 straight MX2 victories at the Motocross of Nations for Ken Roxon. That is unprecedented. That's just, he is one of those riders now officially we can say that rises to the occasion at this race.
Look at those eyes. That's some serious emotion right now.
It's been a long year. Supercross,
great effort.
Motocross. He won one, he lost the other, and now he's the winner today on his home soil here in Teutschenthal, Germany. Unbelievable.
And Paul, we still have one more race to go to decide the 2013 Motocross of Nations champion who will take home the Chamberlain Cup.
And you're right,
Looking
Jeff,
here
as
at
they
some of the
stand now.
highlights right now. Belgian riders cheering on their team. Roxon, Tomac going through the finish line area.
They'll probably show it here in just a second what we're looking at. Belgium leading the way with 25 points. Again, tentatively speaking. USA second with 28.
Look at that onboard look there from Ken Roxon.
Great GoPro onboard view from Ken Roxon. We had the gyro helmet cam from GoPro on during the practice. That was great. Look at the track there.
Taking a look here, your Fox Hole Shot Award goes to Dean Ferris. This kid has been fast out of the gate, huh?
Just a hole shot on 250, no big deal. At the Motocross of Nations. I don't think the field was very deep, was it, Jeff? Oh, wait, yeah, there.
It's outstanding. These MX2 riders on the 250cc four strokes up against the 450cc four strokes have been outstanding here today. 2 MX2 riders at the top of race 2.
Great action.
Taking a look at the Nations classifications here as this whole shot replay goes through. As they run now, it's Belgium on top with 25. Team USA 3 points back in second. They have 28. Then Italy 36, France 38. Australia rounds out your top 5 with 29. Paul, still more racing to come. The final race of this 2013 Motocross of Nations. Stay with us on the CBS Sports Network as more racing continues.